On my journey through the endless abyss that is my Steam library, I came across a game that I had intended to play for ages, but for some reason I never touched it, even though it is free to play. Since you all clicked on this video, I assume you already know what game I'm talking about. Neverwinter. Even though it has been around since 2013, it has kept a decent player base of around 1,000 to 3,000 players daily. It even got a major update in 2024. I didn't know much about the game at first, but hey, I love pirates, and so I finally gave it a shot. And man, it is really a fun game. Let's dive into why I think it is, and who I think would enjoy playing it. First off, Neverwinter is not your typical MMORPG. There is no massive open world, no 50+ level grind, no experience bar, and definitely not a tap target system. And to be honest, that threw me off at first. In Neverwinter you gain levels by progressing through specific adventures, not by farming experience from mobs, etc. This creates a strong sense of story progression and feels like a direct nod to the actual Dungeons and Dragons. Just like in the D&D rules set, you only reach level 20, that's the max level in the game. With all of these gameplay and rule set decisions, it is loosely based on the Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition rule set. It is set in the Forgotten Realms, which features iconic locations like Surprise, the city of Neverwinter, which even provided the name to the game. Zones are mostly small separated areas or instance dungeons. As you would expect from a Dungeons and Dragons based game, there are plenty of these dungeons. The character creation in the game is pretty pleasing and adds a lot to the immersion. You've got your classic Dungeons and Dragons classes to pick from: Barbarian, Warlock, Rogue, Wizard, you name them. As for races, you will find familiar faces. Humans, different elf types, halflings, tieflings, and some premium races that are only accessible via in-game currency. You can also choose from several origin locations and background stories, plus you can add a deity affiliation. These don't affect the gameplay, but they do add a lot to the immersion of your character. I really appreciated that touch because they didn't have to add it, but they just did for the flavor. The focus early in the game is definitely on the story, the character progression, and that feeling of adventure.
Have I told you I'm a genius? Valindra escaped with Azazel. Perhaps it's time to visit my academic colleagues in Waterdeep. I suppose you could consider the bright side. Now that Valindra controls an army of gnolls and undead and a blue dragon, it's highly unlikely she will simply go away and leave Neverwinter in peace. I'm sure you'll get another chance to set things right.
You get nicely written dialogue with NPCs, plus a solid voice acting for the questlines. You're constantly diving into dungeons or hopping into short adventures across new zones. It just keeps things fresh. Where I am right now, it really feels like a super immersive single-player RPG, even though you're surrounded by other players. Combat is fast-paced, not your usual tap target system. It reminds me a lot of Guild Wars 2. You don't get a million abilities, instead you just have a small pool of spells, and you really need to mind your positioning, and you have to dodge. It's just satisfying and makes you feel in control. One of my favorite quality of life things: you get your first permanent mount in under 1 hour into the game. And there is no casting animation, you just press the button and you are mounted. It's just quick, snappy, and it helps reduce that annoying feeling of backtracking. To be honest, I haven't hit Endgame yet, but based on my MMO experience, I expect the following. The goal is to raise your item level, beat harder content, and run more challenging instances and adventures. Rinse and repeat. I'll definitely drop an update once I'm deeper into the game and once I reach this endgame loop. If you're an experienced Neverwinter player, let me know in the comments if I am totally wrong with this assumption. Honestly, The population is still alive and kicking. I ran into other players in every zone I explored, which really surprised me. In other older MMOs like Rift or Runes of Magic, those areas would just be ghost towns. According to MMOPopulation.com, there are between 1,000 to 3,000 active players daily. That is just an estimation. That is not huge, but it's enough to keep the game feeling alive and not abandoned. The graphics are definitely dated, but honestly that's to be expected from a 2013 game. That said, the art direction is solid. The vibrant, colorful, high fantasy style really works. At least for me. The zones feel distinct, the dungeons have great use of contrast and lighting, and the cities? The city of Neverwinter, for example, gave me major King's Landing or Toussaint vibes. You can tell a lot of care went into these environments and the look and feel of these environments. So far, I'm really enjoying my time in Neverwinter. The D&D vibes, the bite-sized adventures, the charming voiceovers, it's
Have I told you I'm a genius?
just fun to hang out here. If you're into D&D, I would 100% recommend giving Neverwinter a shot. It's free, easy to get into, and packed with cool little references from character classes to trap disabling abilities. All these small little details add up and they got me totally hooked on this solo-friendly RPG, which from what I expect slowly shifts into a more multiplayer-focused experience as you reach the endgame. Overall, I really enjoyed my time so far in Forgotten Realms. Let me know in the comments if you played Neverwinter before, or if you plan to jump in after this video. And if you want that endgame update, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys.